Moving on, Jared says, I have closed a business in the pest control niche with a website that has a lot of local authority rankings and age 10 years. I've opened a new business in the same niche and city. However, different name, address, etc. I know you recommend keeping the old website as a lead generation tool. However, I'd like to forward that domain to my new site to give it a boost as the old business is permanently closed. Would you recommend 301 the old domain to the new one, or do I need to do it on a page by page level? Example, forward spider control page from the old domain to the new domains, spider control page, etc. Well, it I don't that would be something that I'd have to analyze a little bit further to determine. The short answer would be I don't recommend redirecting an old brand that has a lot of supporting assets, etc., to an entirely new business that isn't it wasn't just a rebrand of the old business. Like, in other words, if it's the same business that was just rebranded, then yeah, I would do that. But if you're talking about an entirely different business, then I would probably redirect to a buffer instead of direct to the money site of the new brand, the new site, the new business entirely, because it's not just a rebrand, it's a new business, right? So, and again, I would have to look at it to determine for sure what I would do. But the short answer, without more context, without being able to analyze that specifics more, I would say I would redirect to something like a G site, a mirrored Google site. Right? We talk about the content mirroring method in Google Business, in the mastermind. Talk about this just so you guys can see. If, like, for example, we'll just use the Newburgh, Kentucky, which is part of the Louisville Felling Pro project. You'll see what I mean by content mirroring method right here. I mean, this is perfect, guys. Right here. So there's my Felling Pro site for Louisville Felling Pro. That's the Newburgh page, ranking for tree service, Newburgh, Kentucky, above maps. Right? And what's ranking just below it? The mirrored Google site. This is exactly what I was going to talk. Now, I still don't know why this one page continues to rank for that search query. For a while, I thought it was because down here, the anchor text link, but for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. This site right here is the Google Business Pro, G site, Google site, sites.google.com, that was set up as a content mirror or site mirroring. That's what I call site mirroring or content mirroring. So you see that this is basically just a container. There's really very little content on this site. Like, this is the content of the site. These are all iframes, embeds. So, and we have SOPs in the mastermind specifically for G sites for local SEO. And that shows how to do what I call the mirroring method, the site mirroring method. So that is where you create a G site with 1-to-1 ratio for the pages that you want to rank on the main money site. And then you embed those pages into the G site, right? Or you can just do a direct link. You don't have to do an embed. Sometimes, guys, depending on the strength of the domain that you're embedding, sometimes the G site can cannibalize the money site. Because if the money site doesn't have enough authority built to it, then the G site can cannibalize the money site, in which case you don't want to do an embed of the money site page. You would want to do a link instead from the G site to the money site page. It's a mirror, guys. So it's a corresponding page. In other words, you mirror the structure of the main website into a G site. And then if the strength of the money site domain is good enough, then you can just do an embed in the G site, and that's fine, because the G site is just a container. It's like a wraparound of the main money site, if that makes sense. And then you build links to the G site. Something like what you were asking about would be redirecting from a different brand entirely to the corresponding page on the G site. But again, if the domain strength, the authority, and I don't mean Moz's domain authority, guys. I don't even give a damn about that metric ever. But what I mean is the strength of the authority of the domain itself is not strong enough, then the G site can cannibalize the money site. So in that case, if that's the case, then I would recommend just doing a hypertext link to the corresponding page on the money site instead. And then you could do redirects to the G site. It's going to pass through the G site to the money site anyways, but it creates a little bit of a buffer so that you're not causing brand ambiguation or entity pollution between two different brands. Is that clear? So that's kind of what I would do most likely without any additional context. Okay. All right, moving on.